If you have disposable income and you have a lot of things that you want to buy that are just cool, and those things also happen to be more expensive, then it's all right. And then if you're not looking very specifically at the ROI, you don't necessarily have goals for that, that's not why you're buying, then you can do whatever the frick you want. But then again, if you are someone that doesn't have a big budget, and so you have to be more deliberate and more strategic with what you're buying, because you do intend to have good ROIs. You have to take all of those things into account. Those reasons matter. Why you collect matters. And that's why that's like the number one thing. Why are you collecting? And going...
I think that... Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say anything... I think that anything in this hobby, in collecting in general, I think you have to be willing to only allocate the amount of money that you're really willing to, I won't say lose, but for there to be like no potential return on, right? So, and that's why I think it's important to say, hey, I'm okay with, 5% of my net worth being in collectibles, right? Because it's the same way I might view perhaps, just in my opinion, like cryptocurrency, where it's a high risk, high reward type of investment. Collecting is definitely that. And it's not necessarily that like, this Pikachu card is going to be worth 0 in the future. It's that I spent X dollars now, and in 10 years, it's worth the same or less. And then after inflation, what could that $100 have done allocated somewhere else, right? So you got to think about it in that respect too. So what I think is really important for young collectors, young investors who are looking to diversify, kind of their entire their net worth, their asset allocation across all types of investments. Hey, if you're investing $100 in a PSA slab, maybe you should think about putting a matching $100 into, the stock market or something, right?
Oh, that's interesting.
Not necessarily like it's not investment advice. It's not necessarily a recommendation, but there's this kind of ongoing thought in the financial community of, X dollars spent should be matched in an investment account. So if I go buy a $150 pair of Nikes, maybe I should put, have enough money so that I can put $150 into something that might actually appreciate in value, right? Obviously, like Pokemon is more like an investment than buying like, or potentially an investment than buying, a new TV, right? Or a new car, which is going to depreciate, as soon as it rolls off the lot. But again, I like that aspect of matching and being okay with, hey, if I'm going to spend X amount, maybe I can put that same amount of money into something that has a proven track record of producing wealth, that is still risky, but has a more defined long-term return profile, and is a little less binary, right? Because, hey, what happens if in 20 years, what if Disney buys Pokemon and screws up the entire brand and everyone hates it and it's done.
To the
right?
left.
Like not saying that happens, but there are things like that have happened over the course of history that have really, really burnt people, right? So I think about those things a lot. I think about it at the end of the day. If everything I owned in Pokemon ended up being, totally illiquid and not worth anything to anyone, would I still be happy having it on my desk? And if the answer is yes, I feel pretty good about it.